Hey, welcome to the show. You are listening to the Roosic podcast. We are a roots music podcast based out of Nashville, Tennessee, where we talk to the local music scene and beyond.
Today we have Mallory Eagle. Mallory is a country singer-songwriter based out of Oklahoma City. She is a Scorpio.
She's also the author of her own journey. Subscribe to the channel. Check it out.
This is what the makeup girlies do. Yeah. They're like, this new blush.
It's true.
Anyways.
Oh my God. Wait, so when was the last time you were even fucking here? It's been a minute, I feel like. I mean, you come in pretty regularly, but...
Well, but like, it's been like a ship in the night, really.
Yeah.
I've been like here for like maybe 24 hours last couple times I've been here. Which is like nice to have. I got here early yesterday, so I could have like a day.
That's nice.
A day or two, and then yeah. But I'm planning to come back a lot more, which is good. It makes me happy. But yeah, I guess the last time we saw each other was
been a minute. Yeah, I'm trying
years.
to think.
I can't even remember the last time I saw you. It's been a really
for
long
us. It's
time.
definitely been you're like everything's changed.
You know, we saw each other at Legion. Which says something because I haven't been to Legion in fucking God knows how long.
That's a long, maybe like 2 year, maybe two and a half, like almost 3.
Yeah.
But
dude,
like,
time flies.
I know, it's so crazy. Yeah.
Man, oh
so
man.
Good. Your mom's always so sweet. She always likes all my stuff. It makes me feel really good.
There you go. Nice.
She's so sweet. I'll never forget like your whole family like came that one time and
yeah, they're the best. They are.
That's
hilarious.
They're so good.
Getting a shout out on the show. There we go.
Shout out to the
We're
family.
going all over. Your family's okay, Brian. They're fine.
Yeah, I haven't met Brian's family yet.
They're pretty
so.
great.
They're nice
they are pretty great actually.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I was gonna shit talk them, but they're actually.
Yeah. Well, we can't do that. Like you could, but like.
Yeah. Wait. So what are you in town for right now?
So I'm in town because I'm going on tour. I don't know why I said it like that, but
so much.
Yeah, I'm just being wildly myself these days.
Nice.
Always now.
The hair is looking crazy right now. I'm a fan. Big fan.
Thank you. Oh my. Thank you. We're curly girl.
There you go.
Yeah. Cheers to the curls. Yeah. I actually just got a new like curl method.
Really?
You have to pay for it though. I'm not gonna give it to the people. Just kidding. I won't gatekeep that.
I thought you have to pay to get curled. Now I didn't realize I needed to pay you
for the advice. Yeah,
okay,
no.
That's fine.
No,
yeah.
I'll give you like a hint.
Okay,
you know, well, I'll just give you the whole process.
That's perfect. So I can just tell you everything.
You're like, why are you in town? I'm like, let me tell you about my curly, how I do my hair.
Let's hear it. Let's fucking hear it.
Well, okay. So my friend who does hair, she was shout out to Nia Monet. She was telling me that the hair follicle like needs to tighten up, and like to do that, you need to get it in cold water.
Interesting.
So at the end of the shower, you know, I flip all my hair over and I get it in ice cold water, and then I scrunch the conditioner into it.
Interesting.
And then when I get out, I like flip it over and like kind of like crunch it out. And then put it in the curly girl flop, you know, the t-shirt. Not a towel. Not a towel. Because the towel's adding like a little bit more frizz, but my hair is adjusting to...
I'm learning so much stuff today.
There's a lot.
T-shirt, not towel.
Yeah.
You don't want that frizz.
No, maybe like slight towel, but...
Yeah, Brian has this problem all the time. There's too much frizz going on up there.
Yeah, I can see.
Too much.
There's like 2...
That's why I had to shave it all off.
Yeah, I had to go. I had to get out of here. I am in town, though, for a tour. I'm going with Eliza Thorne, which
Very
I know
nice.
you guys are going to be having on the podcast. So
shortly, it'll be so fun.
Yeah, like I guess it was supposed to be here yesterday, but we have a story, aka Brian.
We don't need to go into that.
But we won't go into it. But it's okay.
We already talked about
the trauma enough. And then Wild Bill and the Bruisers, and we're kind of doing this like it's a new way of touring that I've not experienced yet, where we're all kind of like. We're all playing together, kind of like a country family band.
That's cool.
Yeah, like
that's
sharing
really
the
cool.
space and like, but all individually build now, but all collectively supporting each other, which is
we've been talking about it. We've been saying like, because at this point we've only done solo acts. We might have done some duos. Yeah, we've done a couple duo things, but really it's all been solo.
Played on a couple.
But really it's all been solo
that
stuff.
That doesn't count.
And we're like, we keep saying it'd be fun to have bands in here. And I think we keep saying, I shouldn't even say this with the cameras on, but I'm saying it anyway. Okay. We're like, if we get bands in here, we need to start with fucking the Bruisers. I'm like, that would be so much fun.
Well, and that would be great because they're such a built-in unit and the
Yeah.
super solid trio. Like, Man, yeah. I'm excited though. Like Eliza and I have today been like already like getting really stoked about what coffee we're gonna get in Chicago. Oh, wow. We're going to Chicago.
Yeah, give me the whole inventory. Where are you guys going?
Eliza and I are joining Wild Bill and the Bruisers in Chicago for 2 dates. We're doing Broken Hearts and Judson and Moore, and then we're doing a private gig at a art gallery in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Very nice.
And then we booked a couple other ones. We booked a Masonic Lodge.
Oh, damn.
And then also, I think it's a brewery, but we're finishing the tour in Lafayette, Indiana. So
nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And then back to Nashville. And then I have to get back to Oklahoma City because I've got a gig for Earth Day, which is really exciting.
I didn't even know we had Earth Day. That's exciting.
We should. I mean, we're all Earthlings. Actually, I went to this really cool thing. My friend Cheyenne, she has a mobile observatory that she started out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Very cool.
And it's so cool. Her is Black Space Girl. Go check her out. But she was giving a whole presentation about how we should all be interested in our Earth and our planet because we're all spinning around on it.
This is what I love thinking about, right? That sounds so nice, right? Everyone, like, collectively, let's all agree that we're, like, Earth people. I think that's beautiful.
We're Earthlings.
But I love the idea of, like, aliens showing up and us being like... Excuse me, like we're the Earthlings.
I think they're already here. I hate to tell you.
Can you imagine how like tribal shit would get?
Strong evidence to show that's true.
This is served a couple aliens in my lifetime of career.
Aliens is Brian's whole thing. He'll be able to really. I'm yet to be convinced.
Thing,
well, no,
your whole thing.
That's your entire personality.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, can you get into the different like civilizations?
Yeah, can you tell me like what's the difference between like the Greys
and the Palladians?
So that's the only one I knew. There you go.
Don't know.
I
don't know that much. I'm sorry.
I think I might actually know more about it.
It sounds like you do.
Like that's maybe my whole thing now.
So like, what do you think on aliens?
Yeah. And so that's a whole other.
It's a whole other world.
Realm, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, how's Oklahoma these days?
Man, it's good. Other than it's been kind of, I was in Austin watching the wildfires going on, which was really crazy. I'm really glad they've died down. But Oklahoma for me has been really good. Nice. It's just been nice to, like, I'd never expected myself to, for people listening, I was in Nashville. That's how we all met. But I'm originally from Oklahoma. And then in almost 2021, end of 2020, moved back home. But it's been amazing for me. I really needed, I think, to go back to where I started and like heal and become a better person and for myself. And now that by taking care of myself, I can take better care of my friends and family and community. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. And like I got sober. My 2-year alcohol sobriety is tomorrow. So my new birthday.
Congrats. So what you're saying is
but it was good. Oklahoma's been really beautiful. It's the heartland of America, and it's like I think been good for my heart too.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, I'm a prairie queen, you know.
Fuck yeah.
I'm a prairie maiden, you know. I'm out there sailing the high seas of the wheat fields, you know, like.
Yeah, I was just thinking when you got here, I was thinking about when we first met because the first time that we met was actually not here.
That's
was when we were in Texas, right? Because I think both of us were playing South by.
Yeah.
And you got like a makeshift band together, and we were. It was actually kind of fun because like we've never met any of those people, and it was like, okay, you're playing this show together, and I know you played guitar, I played harmonica. We had.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and you had like a poncho. No, someone had a poncho.
I slept. That poncho is on my.
Casey was going through a heavy poncho phase.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say drinking phase.
Real poncho lefty times.
Exactly. For 7 years now, almost. Yeah, 6-7 years now. That poncho is hanging in my. Hear that? That poncho is hanging on my bedroom wall. Still haven't washed it to this day, which is kind of terrifying.
Well, but I think if you wash it, it's like the magic.
The magic's gone.
Out.
I bought that on the street in Texas somewhere, and I wore that thing
like
for
San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio.
I have a photo wearing it too.
I wore that poncho for like 3 weeks straight.
No,
like,
you did.
Like I didn't take it off.
No,
like,
every
I just left
photo
it on.
from that trip, like it's the poncho.
Dude, this is so bad. I slept in that.
I believe that.
For like the better part of a month.
I believe that.
I just slept in that poncho. It was actually fucking great. Like if the apocalypse ever happens, right? If you need a tire for the apocalypse, you go with a poncho.
Okay,
I'm telling you right now, it's the bomb.
Ponchos are the all new end of the world.
In mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I was thinking about that show. I was like, that was so much fun because that was the first time we met amongst you guys.
Broken Spoke. I think I was there because I was just there. I was working with Jamie Wyatt. I was tour managing, but also doing like background vocals. And then last minute, she was playing that show that we ended up, and then she was like, "Oh, we need another band. Do you want to like?" Mm-hmm. And then I had met Sterling Drake there too, so it was like kind of this divine meeting of all of us, like at the honky-tonk.
We need to get Sterling on the show. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, yes, love him so much. It's been last year we got to work a lot together.
Oh, nice.
And he helped a lot with me getting my record out, which was
exciting.
So great. Yeah,
that's super
and
exciting. Got
to do Old Salt out in Montana, and
nice.
It was great. But yeah, that's so funny. Like
time flies, dude.
Yeah,
it never ends. It never ends.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I was thinking about like how different, and I'm sure that like Oklahoma City is probably the same way in the last handful of years that you've been out there now. But like how different Nashville. Like, does it feel like for us? I think it's different because when living here. It's hard to see the movement. It's hard to see the change when you're inside of it. Like for you, you check back in pretty regularly, but you're not here. Like it's not your everyday. So like, what's it been like watching Nashville change over the years, and how is that different from watching home change, but being in that?
Well, I mean, our skyline's a bit smaller,
but
they're trying to add in like a pretty big one soon. No, it was, I was thinking about that yesterday. I was driving in, and there's definitely so much more real estate that has come up around, but in some ways it felt like I was living a parallel life, like but it went right back to like living here, driving the roads, and I just immediately assumed back.
Oh, that's nice.
Which was cool, which means like, that's also like where you're supposed to be when you come back. And because I really had made this place like my home. Like I didn't plan on moving home, crazy tornadoes, pandemic, life events, It
was a lot. There was a lot happening kind of back to back to back.
That was like the world's ending and the Okies going home. I'm going home. I'm not doing this.
And Nashville's always here if you want to come back.
It's always so welcoming. I think what's cool is like having multiple, and I've been spending a ton of time in Tulsa, Oklahoma too. And just the growth in Oklahoma in general has been amazing to watch. Like there is a music scene that's happening. It's starting to grow. There's like, amazing food, like the food in Oklahoma, like especially like Oklahoma City has been like, if you're a foodie, like go. It's so like amazing.
I need to take a trek out there. That'd be fun.
Never been to Oklahoma.
I will be your Oklahoma liaison.
Perfect.
Well, if I ever go, I'll hit you up.
You'll be our tour guide.
You
show
better.
us all
if
the
you
good
don't,
spots.
I'm actually gonna be like the hell.
We'll make it happen. That'd be fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's great that we're having growth. I think Nashville, it is wild to see like how much it has changed, but also I've changed. And so that's the thing too, is like coming into it, it's like, well, it's all different, but so am I. And so is my world and my realm and how I think and everything around me. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm happy for it.
Nothing stays the same.
Yeah. And I think like it's nice to have some things that are staples, like keeping historic spots alive and keeping things that matter in our communities is very important. I don't think we should be eradicating that out. I think it should be built around. Like something I saw in downtown Austin was a law that they had was they could not build, they had to build around all those old live oaks. And so you'll have these huge old, like hundreds of years old, like trees that are just, they've built around and accommodated.
That's really cool.
And I think that that's really important. So I don't support, change where it's like also eradicating important historical places and places that have like contributed so much. So
Mallory Eagle for president, everyone.
Okay. I didn't want that job. Maybe.
What do you think?
Mayor.
Yeah, I'll do mayor. Yeah, I can do mayor. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Town, like a small town mayor, like something achievable. Yeah, yeah.
What do you think? How do you think your music has changed since leaving? Because it's been a little bit of time. Like, how do you feel like you as an artist? How do you feel like you're different now than when you left Nashville?
That's a great question. I think as I've like gone on this beautiful personal journey of like, I've really been sitting with every version of Mallory, like from infancy to little me to high school, college. Like I've been in a deep integration of all parts of self. which has been wild, but also like really beautiful, and I think necessary to do like what I need to do on my journey here. And I think the music, I'm starting to reflect different sounds. Like the one we just captured, it's a very different sound for me, but it's from a deep part of my soul, and it came as a gift. Like I didn't have to work for it. I came in, I just had a very like heavy like season of life, and I wrote down everything that I didn't want anymore in my life to be holding me back. And I took it outside, like burned it in a little bowl, and I just like gave it back to the earth and kind of just said this prayer of like, please, you know, bless me as I enter into this new space, because I can't carry these sandbags on my back anymore. And I don't feel like the need to also be a certain thing. Like, yes, I'm a country musician. Like I'm raised in the red dirt. I'm like a country girl. I think I came out of the womb wearing a cowboy hat. But
I'm in surprised.
Yeah, truly. Like all my baby pictures is like cowgirl stuff. You know, it's like, and I love it. And I love it so deeply. And it's still a huge part of my life, and that's not ever going to go away. But opening into these new realms of self, I keep saying I'm in my Joni Mitchell era, because I'm allowing new sounds as I'm also allowing new experiences to happen. And the song we just recorded here, it was, this moment where I was like, you know, kind of just doing it as an exercise physically and visually to show myself like these things don't own me anymore. And I came inside and picked up this little parlor guitar I had, and it was out of tune, but it was in tune, right? Because I just started to sit down, and the whole song like flowed out of me. I didn't have to like work for it. It felt like a gift. It felt like those are the songs that are coming to me right now. Like I'm not having to work for them. They're like being given to me, and I'm very grateful. And I'm trying to be an open channel, like a radio station, to be clear enough to tune in to have that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So I think that's the difference in like this last record was also kind of me navigating moving from Oklahoma to Nashville and honoring my story throughout that. But at the end of the record, I have a lot more ethereal, big sounds, because I think it's like this transition. So big open spaced sounds, like melodies that are also very resonant, and words that are very intentional, but not necessarily like super wordy.
Yeah, being concise
like
in a
very,
way that,
very simple. Yeah, very simple. And I think that's where I'm at in my life, is just protecting my serenity at all cost.
It's a good place in life to be. I love
it feels good. I feel very highly blessed and favored. You know what I mean? It's like every day I wake up and I truly say thank you every day. I'm like, thank you for the day. Thank you for my life. Thank you for this opportunity to go be, and thank you for my sobriety. And then I go on with my day. And I'm also always grateful for the magic of every day, because life is magical.
It is. It's pretty darn good. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how few of us are drinking these days.
Well, right. I think and a lot of us have.
A lot of us got out of our system too.
Well, and it's like I think there's also more tools of like, why am I drinking, or like why is this pushed so heavily on our society? You know, and I think it's stuff to numb. And, you know, everyone's on their own journey, and some people can respectfully drink. My genetics said
just not
no.
one of those people.
I'm just not one of those. I'm all in, you know, like
go big or go home.
Yeah.
It helps me when I'm playing poker, not so much when I'm, you know, for my liver, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's beautiful. Like, congrats too on like being in this new space.
Say anything to congratulate on, but I appreciate it.
Well, everyone's figuring out what they need. And I think
that's true.
Not like feeling like they have to. And I think that's cool. There's also so many more tools for people today. Like, we're learning how to actually speak and communicate and learn boundaries for ourselves. And
some of us are. Other idiots like us are just like, we're just...
Get out. No. Well, I mean, but there's just more resources than we ever used to have. So
what I'm curious, this is kind of a bit of a pivot, but so your first record was Red Dirt Home, right? And that was what, 2018?
2018.
Okay.
Right before I moved to Nashville.
There you go. So what was the difference in experience recording that versus your last one was what, last year, right? Came out last year.
Yeah.
What was the contrast there? Like how are those different? How are those the same?
It was a contrast.
Oh,
it was crazy.
That's like the most interview question I could possibly throw out right now.
Yeah, I love it. Throw it.
Should I ask all the interview questions like this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Wait, how did you do that? You're like, yes. I don't even know how you did that.
Okay.
See,
It's
like,
just
a special talent.
I know the radio shit, guys. Let's go.
Oh my god, the voice is it's so pleasing.
Mic technique.
Can you like do the ABCs in here, like with the radio?
Oh my god. Wait. So, but really though, what was the answer? The goddamn question.
Sorry, I'm an ADHD girly. Sorry, we're just bopping around. I think the difference was time and energy was very different. Red Dirt Home was like me graduating from a contemporary music school in Oklahoma City and being like, okay, I do want to move to Nashville at some point. And if I do that, like my goal before I ever left was to have a project done out in the world. And so that project is truly all the songs I had ever written. Mm-hmm. And they're just songs that I like wrote in my bedroom and was like, all right, here are all these songs that I have. And then cut it in 1 week and did it with the in-school studio and with producer and engineer Caleb Gray, and it was so great. It was my first time in the studio, and I was like, oh, this is actually like a talent I have. I love being able to organize and bring in all these musicians and execute this, and it was way easier. But also, I didn't know a lot about the after making, so it's like how to like produce it and put it out. The difference in the making of this last record, it was very difficult. And it took me 3 years to get it done. Because I started it in Nashville, technically in 2020, or 2021, at the beginning of 2021, with Mark Thornton. And we cut, Run-In is the one that made it from that. Okay. And then I did 2 cuts, but one stayed from that. So like one Nashville, and then we were in the middle of a pandemic. And also I didn't have the funding was via friends that wanted to donate or family members. Like I did have a community that came around, but it wasn't from like any big backing. And so I was working, I had so many W-2s. Oh my God. I was working so many jobs and like at one point like full-time boot maiden at Lucchese, just like 9. I was working 9 to 8 p.m. every day, like almost 7 days a week, and getting into the studio every night from that and just applying all of my money and time just to get it done. It was I call it my Franken record because it was started in Nashville, came home, did 6 songs, all live band tracking, like brought people in. Adam Duran did a lot of...
we need to get Adam in here, dude.
Heavy guitar, like work on it and help produce some of it. And but we did like a chunk of that, and then I did like 1 track, Blue Skies, that my buddy Kyle Reeds, who helped produce that as well, his home studio. So it was all of these
kind
different...
of like that hodgepodge.
Oh my God, it was a Franken record. It was
sounds
like
very cohesive though. For as all over the places the production was, it sounds like a cohesive record.
Thank you. I really have to thank Ryan Stigman for that because he did the mixing, and that was also a thing. I'd hired people to do the mixing, and that was a very difficult process too because it was just not the right people, and it was a very expensive lesson to learn and time too.
That's hard. That's really hard.
Yes. And so kind of in my own life, it was very symbiotic too. It was paralleled to what I was going through personally, like this rebrand, this restart, but also just having to fight. I had to fight for this record. It was like almost broke me several times, but like finally getting it done. It sounded so great. I feel really proud of it. And it's all the colors of my world from that time, but now it's nice to be in this new zone and have this new energy. And I think what I'm going to be doing is an EP of these, about 4 songs of these new songs that I've come on the other side of, and doing like a lot more like lo-fi, like less produced. Cause this last record was I wanted it to be on the level of, Brent Cobb or like Chris Stapleton or, Allison Krauss, like something that was a high quality, high produced, big sound that also the music was created in mind to be used for TV and movies, cinema. I had a very like visual, I wanted to make it a very like sonic soundscape for, visual media. Which is cool. Like, they're still available if anyone wants to put it in your movie.
Get some sync licenses going. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Mama needs money. So,
We got Scorsese on the phone. We'll call him up after this.
Hurry up. Hey, Scores. Scores. I don't know who he is. Scorsese.
Marty. I got a song for you, dude.
Yeah. But that's the difference. I think it was, like, also just where I was in life. Like, one project was very easy, but also I didn't have like all the knowledge I have now. But this last record, I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about tracking in the studio process, like producing a lot of it myself as well. And that was really fun.
And one of the things you learn too, the more that you do this, is not only is there an immense amount of work to be done to get the songs sounding the way you want them to sound.
Yes.
But there's the vast majority of work that goes into an album is all of the other shit, not what it sounds like, but getting other people to hear it.
Heavy legwork.
It is. It's like, and that's the thing that I think is the most. That has, for me at least, that's the biggest learning curve.
Oh
because
my
it's
gosh.
where if this is what you love to do, that's not where your attention is naturally going to lie.
Right, in your marketing. But I will say, because it was taking so long, it gave me time, and I got my like visuals really nailed down.
Good.
And I was able to like think about, what do I want the album, like, singles to look like, the album cover, and even that shoot, Aurora Black did the album cover for it, and one of the other singles for Better Man. And the concept that I'd have, which is very much the record, I was learning the integration of feminine and masculine divine energy. And I was learning that within myself. I'd been operating in a very masculine, like, being a woman in this industry, I have to be a boss. I have to be a leader. I have to advocate. I have to be on top of things. I have to make sure everything. But I'd kind of lost that feminine part of myself, which is actually, like, if not stronger, like sitting back and being able to receive, but also like moving at maybe a little bit slower, softer pace, but it's also just as strong. And so when I went to this photo shoot, I told her, I said, I want to showcase both sides of myself. And she was like, okay. And so we did, the red one, which is like the power like shot, and that's like the album cover, and I had no problem getting into that zone. But when we got into the feminine energy zone, I like actually ended up crying, because I was like, oh, this is like, you have someone with all the lights and the camera in your face, and you have to be soft. And it was this first time where I like learned that side of myself. So
as a performer, do you find that you found that balance there as well?
I think so too. And I think like that's why I'm excited for this like next project, to like highlight a little bit more balance of that, but really more on the feminine side. And then I already, of course, am writing for the project after that, which is just, we're always evolving and creating. And I think that that's the beautiful part about it, is like, I just want to highlight where I am right now. And not wait so long too. That was my other thing, is like, it was so long, and I changed so much by the time this came out last year. I was a different person.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just gotta like push it out.
Yeah,
and
the
move on.
perfectionism.
'Cause otherwise, it just you bake it for too long, it starts to get stale, and you kind of lose the initial spark you had with it.
And it's so hard in this day and age too. I mean, it's never been a better time to make music, but if there are some downsides to making music now, because you are so involved in the production and distribution of the thing, you put, at least for myself, I find when it's time to put that thing out, I immediately want to move on to the next thing. Like as soon as that album's recorded, I want nothing to do with it. I'm like, the album's done. I want to go on to the next fucking thing.
That's so real.
And it's so hard because I'm sure a lot of this is just disposition and the way people are, but I wake up every day feeling like a different person.
Yeah.
So if you recorded that album, 6 months ago, let alone a year ago or whatnot, it can be so hard to even care to be able to put yourself in that mindset to be like, okay, we got to get X, Y, and Z done today for that thing. Whereas creatively, your mind is somewhere completely different.
Right.
I mean, you're 5 miles ahead.
Yeah.
And that's hard. For you, do you ever, due to the timeline, do you ever feel like you have that problem?
Yes. Casey, I do. Yes. Yeah, no, that's like, well, it's just, yeah, and it's good to like chat with buds that understand that. I feel like, oh, I feel so seen right now. Like, thank you for voicing these real like things that we're all like, you know, maybe all experiencing, internalizing, or vocalizing too. But like, you know, it when I'm playing some of these songs lately, I've been almost saying like, these aren't allowed to like be a part of my life anymore, but here's a snapshot like back into like an older self of my, like my song Better Man. I noticed I was still feeling it too deeply and too much when I was singing it, and it was like manifesting
Great
the
song,
same.
by the way. Very fantastic.
You.
That's so interesting.
It was like manifesting the same lesson over and over in my life, because like it was my words, but I was still like connecting to it in the place of hurt that I was at. And I'm not in that place anymore. So
see, I feel slightly differently, or very differently. I never feel like I never feel ownership of the songs in the first place. So I never feel as like when I go and play an old song, I do think that there is a certain level of just interest you need to have in the thing. Right? Like if I can't just pick up an old song and play it, if I don't actually have interest in playing the song, and it's an exploration, right? If I don't have interest in exploring what that song is, then there's no purpose in doing it. Right. But when I do, I feel as though, you know, it's like if I played any song by anyone that I find to be a good song, I don't feel as though I'm in the equation at all. I feel as though here's something that sure I can recognize intellectually that I wrote this song, but it's like another person wrote it. So just to me, it's always fleeting in that sense, where like you want to completely live in the song and be present with it, but it's never a feeling of like I never have to conjure up feelings that I felt when I wrote that song.
I think that's what I was like accidentally doing. Like I was still kind of in that similar place when I wrote it, but now I'm able to like you have that distance. Now I can disconnect, but I had to realize that I was still kind of like perpetuating that old self or feeling like when I was doing it, but not anymore. And
when you do it that way, I find that when you do it that way, you can get a different vantage point on the song. And the song can present things to you or ideas to you. Yeah. It can present in a way that you may not have saw in the past. And I think that, to me, just the only reason I do this in the first place is because I like doing it, because I feel like as a person, I get something out of it. Yeah. And if I were to just sit in that thing and just do that repetitive exercise of sitting in whatever that song was at the time, I'm not growing from that. The song's not growing from that. It's just like, you know, you're just banging your head against a brick wall. It seems kind of pointless to me. But if you can go back and find that, if you can find that other angle and see what, then that's something different. Like that, there's something beautiful about that. I think that's where I'm at now,
where I was like, I define that in myself, where I was like, why is this like feeling this way still? And it's like, it's just like kind of these old parts of ourselves sometimes that we're still letting like live, but they've already expired. And it's like, now it has a new life, and it's actually really beautiful, and I can still connect and deliver the song from a very real place, but I'm not necessarily having to like deal with those emotions still anymore. So it's cool.
I think I talked about this a while ago, but I don't listen to my stuff ever. Like it just old stuff. It's never like I like what I
Is
play.
anyone doing that? Is anyone like going?
But like I never like I just never sit down
occasionally, just because sometimes it's nice to see how far you've came.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But I listened to the last record, the last full length I did, which has been 5 years ago now. I listened to it not that long ago. Thank you, I appreciate it. Which was not, it was not that long ago I sat down and listened to it, and it was like it was in my head. I enjoyed it because it was like a whole other person wrote that song. Like there's no ownership in my head of that thing. It's like someone else made. It's like, I like that album.
Yeah. It is kind of weird. That's how I almost feel about Red Dirt. It's like she's just like a little Oklahoma girl, like it.
But it's kind of nice when you can give yourself that distance, and I think that's what everyone wants to do. Like we were talking about this on the show not that long ago as well. Like I feel as though art is something that whatever that stuff is that we're trying to grasp at, it's outside of you. It's a radio wave you tune into. Yeah. And so when you can do that, it's hard to articulate, but I do find that it's the skill of tuning into whatever that is.
100%. And sometimes we have to tune out to tune in.
Exactly. By definition, if you're tuning into something, everything else is going away, and you have to. And all creative people that I admire, whatever field they're working in, they have that. They are a strong ass signal. Like they can pick up that strong ass signal. You know what I mean?
They got strong ass signal.
Yeah, they have that ability. They have that ability somehow to be able to dial into those things.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like, as a songwriter, to myself, and I'm really curious how you feel about this. I always get this feeling, because we've all had it before, when you sit down with pen and paper, that the song's coming, I'm ready, here we go. Like this is what I've trained for. You know,
this is what I've trained for. Yeah.
When that happens,
it's happening.
Yeah, exactly. when that happens, I feel as though if I don't catch this one, someone else will. And it's not like not a selfish thing. Like I need this, but like you just recognize it's like fishing. You just recognize that if I don't catch this, it's going to go downstream, and someone else is going to get it.
And it will.
Yeah,
and you've seen it, Exactly. Like it happens, and you're like.
Exactly.
What? That's crazy.
Like I just find that feeling so interesting because you don't have ownership of the thing. Even though, again, if I sit down and sort of intellectualize it, yeah, I'm coming up with it, and
we're vessels.
But
we're
it does. It
it
feels like you are tapping into something as opposed to creating something.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're creating with that energy to deliver it. That's like kind of our jobs for it, is being that like collector and distributor of the information that's coming through. But it's like, it is kind of.
I like that way of saying it. That's a really nice way of putting it. Yeah. Look at that.
Thanks.
Look at all this wisdom Mal's throwing our way right now. Oh my God.
Sorry guys, this is what happens when you go through a lot of therapy and you can go through a deep transformative time. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's what.
One thing I did want to ask you too is, as a songwriter, who are what?
I always love these questions.
No, as a songwriter, who are songwriters that you look up to and just think are really competent, phenomenal songwriters, and who are songwriters? I guess as a sort of a second question to that, who are songwriters that you feel work in the same world that you work in, or at least similar, cover similar ground as you?
Oh yeah, like vibes.
Yeah.
I'm like vibes.
Like vibes. Yeah, vibes. That's probably a more succinct way of saying whatever the fuck I just said.
Well, I just like went like real, just redneck, like vibes, Yeah, like very like nicely, but I'm like, oh, the vibe.
Oh, the vibes.
The vibes. I definitely feel really inspired with a lot of the Gillian, Welch, and Dave Rawlings projects. I think they're really wonderful. I don't know if a lot of Allison Krauss's, I don't know if necessarily she was writing a lot of them, but the song, like a lot of the writers on her projects too, and Townsend Zandt has been a real deep one for me too. And
the legend.
I've been really.
He doesn't get enough love on this fucking show.
Okay,
everyone go listen to
Towns. If I needed you, would you come to me? That's the song,
It's a banger.
He's like literally talking. Yeah, it's just about being there. But it's like, I think those are a few. God, that's hard. My brain goes to like kind of a million. That's why I laughed when people were like, "Who are your
favorite songwriters?"
Well, it's like, when someone asks that, I immediately have no like
just
maybe
blanks,
I'm like none. I don't even know music. I don't play for a living. It's like I just like go out. I'm like I get the overwhelming sensation of too many answers, and then I have zero. I would say those are a few. I mean, I definitely also love like Merle Haggard and Collie, Don Williams. Don Williams is so amazing. But also Dolly Parton. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Dolly is like Dolly for president, actually. I want to live in Dolly world. What the hell?
Oh, Alexa, we just lost the light. What the hell? Man, oh man.
No.
What is this? What is this production?
That's okay.
So those are some of your favorites. Who do you think? And this doesn't necessarily have to be. I don't think this is genre specific. But of the songwriters, are there songwriters out there that you feel as though you're playing the same sandbox as?
Oh, I've been really with the new music and stuff. I would say like an artist that has really been inspiring me is Twain. And
I don't think I know that.
Oh my gosh, he's so good. Twain and Laura Marling. It's in more of a very like they're very reflective pieces that are very honest storytelling about their own journeys and in life and kind of how they're navigating life and like kind of finding their own healing paths through it, but also just songs of being. And I think that that's really cool. And that's not technically like a country artist or anything, but I'm really relating to those pieces. Or Connie Converse. I don't know if you know about Connie Converse.
I do not know.
Look up Connie Converse. There's a whole lore.
This is the best part of having this show.
Some research.
Is that we get to find out about all these cool people.
Yeah, just some beautiful and also artists, Cindy Walker. She wrote a lot of the Western swing music that you hear that Bob Wills made really famous. She's got this song called Now or Never, and I was really going through a time of like these guys that were just like situationships, and I'm like, get like literally shit or get off the pot. Like I'm not like we don't have time.
We got so much tea to talk about.
There's a lot. Yeah, where's the tea? We need to be pouring. Yeah. Well, I'm pouring it. I guess.
What's the spiciest shit that we're forgetting right now? I mean, Brian's now married, so there's that, but like, I can't really think of what else.
Go Alexa.
Yeah,
well,
one of you guys really clearly won out in that. No,
yeah, I was like, actually, wait. Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good company right there, I think.
Yeah, I think it's been cool to like find new artists that are outside of that realm too. And what is his name? It just left my brain. Kendrick just used one of his samples. I'm
not up on my rap game.
It's
honestly.
like if this world were mine. Sorry, I can't think of his name right now.
Man,
it's okay.
We'll figure it out. It'll come to you in about 7 minutes when we're talking about something
after we're done.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but
nice,
like some
good.
deep like Motown R&B artists too, just like old school and been loving Blossom Dearie.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, which I know she's just doing a lot of like standards and stuff, but I think her quirky and soft, fun demeanor is really like nice. I'm really into kind of those new spaces.
For you, I think this is certainly probably more true for you in the past than presently, but I definitely think of you as a country, or thought of you as a country artist. Like
totally, which I am.
Yeah, which you are, but I think now
like
it's
Patty
starting
Loveless
to...
and so to answer your question correctly, I'm still going on the other answer. Yeah, like Patty Loveless and some Patsy Cline stylings and maybe a little, I don't know, like compared, not like just vocally, but maybe a little bit of like, some of the Willie Nelson energy where it's like kind of bringing in other, and like I said, Gillian, Welch, like Allison, people that can bring in other genre-based stylings into the country music realm. I think that that's really cool because I'm a multi-dimensional person, and I have many facets that I'm always inspired by, because like something I don't even know y'all know about me is that like I had a whole other career before even like I was raised up in bluegrass and country music always, and going to the jams and in that, but also I was doing opera and classical music.
I had no idea.
I did that for
never knew that about you.
Yeah, and as well as like I did jazz for a while, and also was like a worship pastor with a cat. Yeah. Yeah, I did like nice. Yeah, but all those different facets add up to being in a new zone, and but like always having the rooted, and I love singing country music. There's like really nothing like the what's going on.
We just lost some part of it. We're good. We're good.
Things are falling apart.
Exactly. This is just an absolute shit show. No, it doesn't. We can leave it. I was just being an ass and pointing it out.
No, it's okay.
What I wanted to ask you too is when have you ever felt like, or maybe you haven't, that playing within that country music framework, you've ever hit the edges? When do you feel like, as a creative person, when have you ever hit those edges and felt like, okay, I either need to restrict myself to what this thing is, or try and break out of that form and add some other components in there?
I think vocally it can be that way, because a lot of country music is based upon storytelling. And most times, I mean, you can sing, it depends on how you're singing it, of course, you know, how you're delivering it, the phrasing and everything. And there are wonderful country singers that are singing these beautiful stories, but and I like to do that too. But I think sometimes that's where I do feel I am a true vocalist. I can get into bigger, like really just like there's this whole side of me when I'm singing like soul music, and I'm just, or like old gospel, or like when I was doing the opera, it's like this bold like wall of sound that can come out that does hit a bit of some of the walls. That's why I think Neon Waltz, I tried to bring in more like the vibrato and big, almost like crooner kind of vibes, you know, and some artists have done that and pushed those boundaries, but traditional country music and bluegrass, it's very tight, you know, and it's very, because it's very word-based. And so that's where it's fun in this new realm that I'm creating to kind of like start pushing those boundaries out.
It seems like you've kind of already started to strike a balance of having, getting best of both worlds, frankly, where you can belt when you need to, you can explore in those other melodic ways.
Yeah, and then it's also nice to have the like textural part of like just telling the story and like being a little bit more, you know, with that. But
love it.
Yeah.
Love it. How this is something I just genuinely don't know about you. When did you start doing music? In my head, it's like you came out of the womb.
I did.
Doing music.
Yeah.
So like, what was the sort of trajectory of your musical experience as a child and just a young person?
Well,
that was so many words. Oh my God.
It's a whole story.
Casey, you have an amazing talent for like taking a sentence that could be said in 3 words and just stretching it into like
but
2
these
paragraphs.
things have got to be a little, you know.
No, it's great. It's great.
Brian's like your counter. Brian's like the counter. It's like I'm in the yin and the yang right now.
No, we got to get those fucking. We got to fit those ad breaks in, dude. We got to fit those fucking ad breaks.
It's a great skill to have for what we're doing here. But sometimes it cracks me up when I'm like editing the clips or something, because like
you're like, I could cut out all of this.
You'll ask the question and then somehow keep talking for the next minute.
There you go. Perfect. Again, it's a nice balance. You know, that's why this works. You know?
I'm loving being in the middle of this Oreo of conversation.
Really an old married couple yelling at each. Most of these podcasts
you guys have been actually married longer than anyone I know.
That is true. Yeah, Brian and I.
Known each other a while now.
Yeah, it's been going pretty serious.
I don't even know what I fucking asked. I don't even fucking.
I'm also trying to.
I'm gonna grab another. Would anyone like another beverage? I'm gonna grab another one of these.
Okay, with my Topo Chico.
You want another one? All right.
What was his question?
Oh, just the trajectory of.
When I started.
Yeah, when you started, how all of that went for you.
I was actually just sitting with a bud today and talking about kind of when I knew that this was my whole journey in life was 6 years old. I was 6 years old and I was sitting under a pine tree and I had this very divine, like auditory message, like come over my being as I was just sitting there, like playing with the sticks or whatever and making up a little song to myself. I was always making up little songs and like I would sing to soothe myself when I was very stressed out. Like just like just little, you know, little melodies or very simple words. And I was sitting under this pine tree at the school I was at, and it was a moment that came over me, and it was saying, "This is your path. You stand up and use your voice. Go up and go now." And I said, "Okay." And I just felt like that was like a divine message from God, like this like light source that was in me, not what, you know, anyone had to tell me that what that was. It was always within me. And I stood up and I signed up for the first grade talent show, and I didn't tell anybody in my family. And my mom came, and they're all there watching me, and I'm in my like Sunday dress. I was like, had like snuck it in my backpack and brought my like Barbie boombox and like did a VeggieTales song for the whole class.
I love that.
And I was just like, no matter where you are, you know, like just like singing this sweet song about like just
that's awesome.
Having faith and yeah, I think that's, and then from then on, I was involved. My parents were like, oh my gosh, like she has a talent, and saw that within me. And I was very serious at 6. I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing now for the rest of my life. Like this is my calling. And I did stand up and go. And it's been since then, like I did basketball for a little while, but then I quit because I was like, it's interfering with my rehearsals.
Yeah.
I was like, I've always quit any job or anything to make sure that I was facilitating all the time and energy into what I'm doing now. And that's why it feels really good I went full time touring and like doing the music and trusting the path, which is not secure, but is really anything secure these days. So, it's like, I have a calling, I'm going to answer it, I'm going to do it, and the path keeps opening wider and more beautiful for me as we all should be. Like, and there's many other parts to it, but yeah, it's been my whole life.
That's beautiful. And I do feel as though life, and then this doesn't happen for everyone, obviously.
I'm realizing as I get older, that was a very unique thing to have happen at 6. And to know that, and there are a couple people that do feel that way too. But.
And there are people who, there are people that have experiences like that throughout the course of their life, and I'm always just, I always want to pick that apart for people because I'm just fascinated by it. People get those experiences throughout their lives at different times. 6 is pretty damn young, which is amazing. Yeah. But some people need that wake up call, and it's like, and it's sad when you think about it because a lot of people just don't get it. A lot of people, for whatever reason, they go through life and they never get that thing that it almost like it scares you, and it's like it scares you enough to like get your shit going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people never get that, and it's sad because it's not even a moral statement. It's just most people, I don't think, ever get the experience of that thing shaking you awake.
Like, this is it. Yeah, like this is the purpose. Yeah.
And it's maybe not even related to art. Maybe just
it could be anything.
Just getting your shit together and being, it's a.
Well, creative is like also. When I was working my barista job, I was always asking people, "What do you create? You're creative," and they were like, "No, I'm not." I was like, yes, you are. They're like, I work in finance. I'm like, yeah, bro, I can't do numbers like that.
You're like a genie, like talking to these people, like a mystical creature.
I am a mystical maiden. That's a fact.
Mystical maiden. There you go.
But I mean, I think sometimes we also can hold each other's hands and help each other be mirrors.
And you kind of hear those things, hopefully, when you need to hear those things.
Yeah, totally. And I've had moments where I've definitely, you put in all this time and money and effort and you're like, is this really like, how much more can I go? I'm sitting in my, I'm living at my parents' house, sitting in my bedroom, my brother's old bedroom, crying over $200 because some guy didn't want to pay me, and it's like, how much more can I take of this? And then like there's something that still calls you to it though. Yeah,
it's that running on empty feeling, as Jackson Brown would say. That's what it is. It's that feeling of.
But it's like that's when going. You have to. That's then more than ever that you have to like keep going. But some folks just get kind of lost in their journeys here, I think, and maybe just I think, and also a part of that can come back to finding. Someone said once, I can't remember who, but it was like, whatever you wanted to do when you were 11 years old is what you should be doing. But sometimes it's remembering what you wanted to do when you're 11 is like, well, what was that? Or if you're not connected with that.
True. Yeah, and it's hard too
because it's like kind of our truest little selves. It's like, okay.
And this life is hard for people. I mean, music especially is hard because there's so many distractions at play, and and a lot of it is just the sort of the culture of the thing. I mean, I wouldn't trade this life for anything, but there's a lot of drinking, there's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of insecurity, a lot of just people having to cope with not necessarily knowing how they're doing this, why they're doing this, if they should continue to do this. I think it's when people start to question, am I doing this for a reason other than to just do the thing? I'm by no means a wise person, but if I've learned anything in life related to art, I think it's that. You just do the thing for the sake of doing the thing. Yeah,
because what at the end of the day, when they put me in the box, man, I lived a good life. Yeah. I think that's where I'm at too, is like, oh my God, life is so short.
It's fucking
It's
wild. It is
short.
wild how long we've known each other. It's wild how long we've been doing this stupid show for the last, like, we've been doing this for 6 months. And, like,
not a stupid show,
No, but like, you know,
but
like,
yeah, I know what
life
you mean,
just
yeah.
fucking
Stupid.
flies by.
Yeah, maybe you're like, okay.
It like life flies by, and so
It
why
does.
why not just try and grab life by the horns and just do it? Yeah, it's I remember this is gonna be such a bizarre thing. This is such a bizarre thing to say. This was probably a big catalyst for me stopping drinking years ago. I was just really not happy. I was just in a rough place. This was back when we knew each other and were hanging out a lot. And like,
we were all drinking hard.
oh my God. I was just in a rough space, and I had a dream. I didn't stop drinking right after this. I kept going. But this really was one of the, that's another story. But I had this dream, which I don't dream. I never remember my dreams.
I never do
it's
either.
very, very few and far between I ever remember my
I
dreams.
remember all of them.
And
I wish I remembered all mine.
There you go.
It's sad not remembering.
I probably just don't sleep enough to remember fucking dreams.
Every once in a while, rare occasions, I will, but
Y'all need some deep REM.
I don't sleep enough.
Yes, I
That's
do.
probably the problem.
But
Get out.
but I had this dream. I was in a bathroom, and actually I was in the Naval Academy, which is weird. So that's where my dad went to college.
Okay.
And I've spent a lot of time around there. I've never been in this bathroom before, but like, you know, like when you're in a place in your dream and you know exactly where you are.
It's the astral.
Exactly. I knew
beings.
exactly where I was. And I was taking a piss at the urinal, and there's another guy in the bathroom, and I walked over to the sink to wash my hands. And I look over next to me, and you know, at this point I'm 24, probably somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I look over, and my dad is washing his hands in the sink next to me. But he's like, 19, 20, something like that.
Weird.
And has he's just a dude.
You time traveled.
I was in shock. It was the most, I've never experienced a dream. Like, it wasn't a dream. It was like I was in that room. I cannot articulate it, but I was in that fucking room.
Wow.
And I just looked at him, and like, it was one of those things where, if you stare at someone, wash your hands next to you, it's that side eye of like, what the fuck does this guy want? He didn't know me from anyone. And he looks over at me, just sort of questioning, like, what the fuck is, like, what is going on here, And I didn't even know what to say. I just said, you're my dad. Like, that's all I could say.
Yeah,
I just just like acknowledge it. And he just gave me this look of like, okay, this guy's like fucking crazy, like, and he like just didn't know what to do, and just kind of like, okay, walked out of the room, and I just stood there for like 5 seconds, and I woke up. And it was, to this day, that thing changed me more than any experience in my life. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. But I think people, whatever form that takes, whether it's that happening to you as a 6-year-old or that happening to me a good while later, I don't think you want to kind of turn a blind eye to those things when they show up.
Yeah.
Because they're so precious when they do, whatever form that they take. And then it was kind of a journey for a while of figuring out, okay, how do I assimilate that into my life? How do I become the person I want to be?
Yeah.
It's a very strange feeling at any point in life, I think, to experience that. But to be 6 years old and know that, I mean, that's amazing.
I was just like, time to go. Time to get this tour going.
You were not messing around.
I was like, VeggieTales, Boombox, all right, Sunday Best, let's get it. Like, ready for the showbiz. And I did musical theater for a long time after that too. There was like, I think another, like a second defining moment for me too was also, I'd had that moment at 6, and of course like did all choir, I did all these like, opera and like, very classically trained, which set me up for life vocally. I mean, it was like the best world-class training. Judith Willoughby, R.I.P., love her. She taught me so much. And all the teachers, all the teachers I had, like all of our mentors that we have, like that bring us up. But, I got to the end of high school and it was like, well, am I going to New York and I'm going to do musical theater? Or am I going to join a bluegrass band? And I joined the bluegrass band and I made my first $50 and I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And it was like me and all these like old guys, like shout out to Bill Perry. I mean, he's not with us anymore, but he taught me so much. And it really helped me kind of get out of that classical world, which was very like, you know, it's performative, but it's very different. It's very like reserved in some ways, and the mannerisms are very different. And bluegrass is like, what key are we in? Key B, all right, you know, 1, 2, 3, go. And you know, it's kind of like this whole thing. But it was cool. It was cool to see that moment where it was like, also, what path am I choosing?
Yeah.
We always are presented paths.
There's always forks in the road, yeah.
They're always, yeah. And it's been cool to like be going down the one I'm on now. Like I just did a whole month in Austin, and it was the best month of my life.
I love it.
It was the best month of my life. I got to sing with Willie Nelson. It was
I saw that
crazy.
footage and I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Dude,
That's
I
awesome.
want you all to know I was bringing the whole community with me on my back with that
That's
one. I was
beautiful.
like, I'm not just here alone. I'm here with my people. And I've been like really doing that more too. Like when I get on a stage, I bring all my people with me. Mm-hmm. You know?
That's
fantastic.
fantastic.
Like I saw someone say that once, and I was like, I'm gonna be doing that too, because it is I was telling Eliza this today. It's not just the seat I got at the table. Everyone's getting a seat at the table. And that's the thing, is like, that's where sometimes, in this industry, and I see it a lot too, like something I do see like a lot in bigger towns, like industry towns, is a lot of that insecurity that they're never going to get a seat. Mm-hmm. And there are some people that like there are like higher echelon spots, but I think that's kind of a problem in our society too, is that there's this higher echelon, and really at the end of the day, we're all earthlings. And
I think a lot of it too is just it's a miscalibration of what the actual situation is. I mean, I used to have what I see now as a flawed stance on things, which is that the people higher up the totem pole, those people on the higher rungs, pull the people on the lower rungs up with them. And that's not how it works. That might happen occasionally, every once in a while. But really, I mean, it's the tiers move together. They move as a unit.
Yes.
And like, and as soon as I realized that was a big change in mindset for me. Because as soon as you recognize that, you realize that this. Not to say that this is an investment. Like, not to say like, you know, our relationships as people are there because any of us think that we're getting a sort of future payout in any way.
Right.
But you just realize that I love Mallory. She's in town. Let's have her on the show.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like stupid shit like that. You start to realize like, oh no, like these things all just happen together. They happen as a unit because we like hanging out together. And I think as soon as I recognize that, not only is it a more positive outlook, but it's also a far more realistic one, because then you start to realize that's just how the world works. The alternative isn't just more depressing. It's also just wrong. It doesn't really work that way.
Well, and I think there's always this pressure, like, to have the like fame and fortune. It's like, for me, I feel like if I can just be successfully touring and taking care of myself and have all my stuff taken care of, then
that's all that matters.
Then wonderful. Like,
more money for me. No,
You're like, great, get out of my way. No, but it's like like you said, it's like the idea of play. Like, I think it's important to remember to just play and have fun. And that energy produces way more better,
for sure.
Cultivating out, because that's sent out into all of our ant community. We're all just like, beep, 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 like good vibes, you know? And like, the community needs that. The colony needs it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an important thing to recognize, because, again, otherwise, the alternative is just more, it leads to a dark place. I mean, that's why, that's a lot of stuff I had to
pressure,
get off of my back,
isolating,
at a certain point. And I feel like a lot of people who are in this world can fall into that mindset because it is so enticing.
Yeah.
You see the guy next to you, and you're like, why him? Like, I've practiced more today than that fucker. What the hell? You know?
Oh my gosh, the like feeling I think I was always having when I lived here was this pressure of like, oh my God, someone's kicked my ass by already like 6 a.m. Like, I'm getting up at like 9 and it's not enough. And it's like, that idea needs to be left at the damn doorstep, and just like, we're all in our own journeys. And I think that's the number one thing to remember, is that like, my past can be different than yours. Your past can be different than mine.
Exactly.
And success is also, what you make it and what your mindset is about it too.
Absolutely.
Which is just, I think it's cool that I just want to say I'm proud of both of you guys too.
Oh, thank you.
Just as friends, it's cool to get reconnected and have y'all back in the orbit too. That's been a really cool thing for me, is like this alignment of people that are, I've created more space, and it's like cool to see people come back but we've all just been we're all having our own lives and journeys and navigating things, but it's really beautiful. This trip's already been so good for me.
Yeah, and it's so lovely too. I mean, doing music is great for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons I think it's wonderful is there is a tightness with someone that you get, that there's a level of connectivity involved when you've been on stage with someone or just sat around drunk in my living room with a fucking beer box on your head. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, wait, yeah. We were just like, are we going to chat about that?
We'll have to cut in some photos of us.
Oh gosh.
Oh my God.
The Pokemon rap was the best part of
I forgot
that.
about that. God, it's been fucking years.
I can literally smell that little kitchen.
That's hilarious. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Good old Woody Hill Drive.
Good old, yeah.
Woody Hill.
It was fun. Yeah, there had some fun times there. But like, oh my God, wait, that was the night. Oh my God. That party was the night, that next morning I stopped smoking.
Really?
Yes. Oh my God. I haven't told this story on the pod either. We're going to tell this story. So this is more just bad stories about Casey. So that night, okay, first of all, so much fun, right? And I used to just fucking chain smoke in that house. Like I was like just never ending. But to me, back when I smoked, yeah, I'd have a cigarette in the morning, have a couple cigarettes throughout the day, but I wouldn't really start smoking, like chain smoking, until I started drinking. Yeah. Right?
Oh, well, everyone. I was even having a couple cigarettes and I didn't even smoke.
And that one night, I had like half a pack of cigarettes, went to the store, bought another pack, smoked the entire, in the span of like 6 hours, smoked an entire pack and a half of cigarettes, didn't think anything of it, woke up the next day.
You felt great the next day?
Well, no, I felt fine because I was used to smoking a lot of cigarettes. But I woke up and something felt off, and I was like, "What's going on?" Like, so, like when you wake up and you're like, "No, something's wrong right now."
Like I'm deeply ill.
Like there's something wrong.
Happened.
And I looked in. This is so fucking bad. I looked in the mirror and like got my phone light out. In the back of my throat, my tonsils were completely gray. Not like
that makes
like
me
off. They were completely gray.
Dude,
and
that's gnarly.
And they were,
I feel like that monkey right now.
Oh yeah, it was so bad. And they, not only that, they were completely eaten away. They were like honeycombed. They looked like a hornet's nest. And I looked, and Brian knows this about me.
I'm shaking actually hearing this.
I hate doctors. I just don't like doctors. My arm could be fucking broken, and I'm like, I'll walk it off. I'll be fine. Like it'll be. I was like, oh my God. Went to the doctor immediately, and honestly, like they're totally fine now. Like they've healed, like but it was.
What did the doctor say about that?
Yeah, what
were his thoughts? I want to know.
Yeah, what was
he like? God damn, dude, chill.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was gnarly. That actually is so funny to bring up. That was the last. I mean,
that could be like an anti-smoking ad right there.
I'll cheat every once in a while,
but pro topo. We like keep pushing it throughout the entire
yeah. Oh God, I miss cigarettes. Fucking Christ, I miss cigarettes. I had a
I
cigarette
could get
the
you
other
some
day.
candy cigs.
No, that's my shit. That's my shit. There we go.
That's the real hard stuff.
I cheated. I had a couple cigarettes the other day, which I haven't had in fucking
Casey.
forever. Well, no, I'll cheat occasionally, like maybe every 6 months or so.
That's how it always starts.
And I had a couple cigarettes the other day. And I was like,
I'm like holding you accountable. I'm like, Casey, you just told me you had a hornet's.
It was so bad. It was like, so bad. I wish I had, to this day, I wish I had photos of it. Because it looked like it didn't even look real. Like I could not believe it with my eyes.
I can send you some like smoker's longs every once in a while to keep you inspired.
Like when we were in Norway, I went out to Norway 2 years ago.
Ooh.
And I was out there touring with this guy, Ry Bradley, who we actually had on the show.
Nice.
Fantastic. And at that point, I wasn't smoking anymore either, obviously. But one of our bandmates would, and so he would buy cigarettes there, and they have the gnarliest stuff on their cigarettes. They're also like $30 for a pack of cigarettes.
They're like rolling. They're also out there. They're like
crazy.
In Europe, they're like required to put pictures of like fucked up lungs and stuff.
Oh yeah, you roll it out.
I'm like, let the man have a goddamn fucking cigarette without like giving him a heart attack. God damn. But they're also like $45 for a pack of cigarettes or whatever it is. It's
really,
it's
they really
insane
punish
how
you.
expensive. Yeah.
And you're like, I'll buy it.
I'm
gonna buy it.
I'm not gonna buy it, but I'll steal some of those from you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think something funny that I think Adam said something once about. It was like, who was it? Someone was smoking those really long and cigarettes, and he was like, "What are your baritone cigarettes or something like that?" Do you remember that? Yeah. I think you know what I'm talking about.
That's so
the baritone cigarettes.
Oh my God, that's so
no more
funny.
cigs though. And no more vaping. The vape. I was addicted
Brian was
to
a big vapor for years. That was my big
Cloud
thing.
Nation?
Cloud Nation, let's
I guess
go.
you could say that. Yeah.
I guess you could say Brian was
In college, Brian had a fucking vape that
You
looked
had those
like,
big ones?
It looked like a fucking lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
What?
And when you hit the button, it was like. That thing was gnarly.
It was hilarious. That is one thing. To this day, hand to God, I'm like, there's nothing on this earth I love more than a cigarette. I am never using one of those fucking things
back
ever.
then, that was like before the Juul and that shit existed.
That was years before.
That was all they had back
exactly.
then.
You had the OG, the Dino.
It looked like a
vape.
fucking golden lightsaber. It was insane.
Wait, actually, that just came back to me. That was also paired with the night of the we were playing. It was like
Super Smash or Mario Kart
Super
or something.
Smash and Mario Kart.
Pokemon Stadium, that's what it was.
And that's why the Pokemon rap was happening.
God damn.
Oh my God, yeah.
We had some good times.
N64 classic right there.
Oh my God. And yeah, the best part of it,
Aquila was a baby at that point. He was so tiny. Yeah. Time flies, dude. Tomorrow he's going to be 8 years. Tomorrow he's going to be 6 years old. How crazy is that?
That's wild. Wait, that's amazing. And I remember the one. Oh, it was my going away party. That was also really insane.
That was fun.
It was like me. That house is now famous. Like so many people live there. Like iconic musician home. But like I was moving out, and simultaneously Chris is moving in, and so was Carson.
Yeah.
And
how about all of the OG crew is now out of that house? How wild is that?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a new time.
It's sad. We're in a new era now.
I couldn't even drive by it today. I almost did, and I was like,
kick me in the butt. In my head, I'm like, well, Chris is still there. In my head, I'm like, if I show up,
he's holding it down.
Yeah, Chris is out there too now. There's no one there.
He became I passed on the grandma.
You moved into it, just some random.
No, it's some other folks in the scene, but none of
which is good that we still have the musicians, but it's like our era of like crew is gone.
Damn.
Yeah, that was crazy. But he got out. I remember, and we were like running down
Oh my God,
the
I was
street.
so pissed off because some fucking idiot left the door open, like some girl that I'd never met before, whatever.
We were moving. No, what happened was we were moving the couches in because I'm like moving my whole life out of that room. Chris is moving in. There's like I'm simultaneously having a going away party during the moving.
Yeah.
So it was like all these people, and then the door got left open when it was the couch.
He was fine.
We did, yeah.
He made friends down the street, so it was all good.
I was like, I know he's near. We were like running.
I can sense him.
Like we were like all distressed. And it was raining too. It was like very dramatic.
That's
like
hilarious.
everyone running down.
It's like a Hallmark movie right there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Good times. God damn. Time flies, guys. Time flies.
I know.
So you've got you're sort of planning this possible EP route. How solidified is that right now? Is that kind of the way you're going, or is it still just kind of up in the air right now?
I think it's going. I've been actually the friend I met with today, I think is going to be the one. I've just been really opening myself up to who's going to be the person that I work with on this.
Nice.
And I already have a recording done, and it's from my iPhone.
Oh, hell yeah.
The song, when it came to me, I just when I came in and had that experience, I came in and hit record and just sang from my soul, and that was it. And I hit done, and I was like, I think that's actually it.
I love it.
And I had done and I'm also like, I think we're at a place where people are really enjoying that raw,
for sure.
Real, very just rooted sound, and the iPhones honestly are pretty good.
Didn't this is just a fleeting thought, I could be wrong. Didn't a handful of years ago, Coulter Wall put a few like phone recordings on his album or something?
I think so. I mean, a lot of people have done this.
Been, yeah.
And I'm just like chatting with my friend today, and he was like, "I'll help you," and it felt like that is actually the person who I want to like work with for it. And a couple ones like I need to have recorded. There's one that's going to be on it actually that my Nana wrote, and I lost.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I lost her last year, and actually today on my like, iPhone brings you like your memories like next to the weather and like all that. And today it was a photo of her with her like bird magazine that she had her subscription to. Her name was Glenn. And this song that she had written for herself that was her soothing song that when she was in the garden or like having a hard time. And it's really, really beautiful. And it's like this, she was 102. And so it like how it's worded is so, it's just from another time. The way she speaks in it, it is. And at her funeral, I actually had COVID and I couldn't attend the funeral, which I was like so bummed because I wanted to perform this song from her. Because when I would go, I was very close with her and would like go visit a lot at her assisted living or the nursing home. And I'd taken my guitar a couple times and she presented me this song and I was like, "Oh, who wrote that?" She's like, "This is my song." I'm like, "What? Like." And she had also said to me, like, I want, before she passed, like, I would love to give you the songs that I wasn't able to, like, do anything with. I hope you can use them in some way. And this one is called The West Wind, and it's really so gorgeous. And it fits perfectly within it. And it's so descriptive about, like, just... It puts you into the scene, and it's into a nature scene, and it's also like a very liberating and beautiful song. And for her funeral, I had this recording of her and I like kind of playing it in her room, and her like singing it at the beginning and teaching me. And that got played, that audio clip. I sent it to my brother. I FaceTimed in because the future is wild to my Nana's funeral, and was like in the back of the church, like watching the whole ceremony, and it was kind of. I don't even have word. It was so cool and almost like really prophetic. It was like this moment where she was singing at her own funeral for everybody. Like over the speakers, it's this clip that I have of her and I singing this song together.
That is wild.
She's singing for her own funeral. But if I had been well, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this cool thing where she was like, I want to sing it a little bit, like from the grave, like having this, getting to have her moment. And it was also really beautiful for everyone to hear her voice like there. So
that's something I never really thought about. Actually, this is a very obvious thing, but it's something I've never really taken the time to appreciate, which is it is different when an artist goes, someone who has put things out into the world, because we all do this to degrees. We all leave our mark, whether it's our influence on other people or or the physical things that we've made along the way and sort of our indent in the world. But when you're dealing with music, it's such a personal thing. It is very odd that we have, now, and this is a very recent thing in history, we now have the ability to capture those moments. It's one thing to look at a photograph of someone, or a video of someone, which is beautiful enough. It's a whole other thing to experience something they've made after that person's gone. I was just listening, this is sort of a strange aside as well, but I have so many, just thousands and thousands and thousands of recordings on my notes.
Yeah, where are you at on the voice memos? Because I just hit 1,000.
I've got that
probably
fucking.
You're like
I'm so
you're like,
far beyond that.
You're like 5,000.
I'd have to check and see, but I have so, and I've done them over the years.
I don't use voice memos.
No, never really.
Keep it all up here.
Interesting.
Wait, we're both like what?
Yeah,
but.
I probably should because I forget a lot of shit.
It's so nice.
I should start.
It's fucking living the future.
I used to do it a lot, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for
no, it's
derailing.
Okay.
Sorry.
But I was listening through. This was a while ago. This was probably last year at some point. I was listening through my old, I've got ones from, a decade, 15 years ago. I've got them from forever. That's the one thing when I get a new phone, I don't give a shit about my pictures or any of that stuff, but I need all my voice memos, And,
that's real.
And I listened to one, it was a rehearsal that we were doing 10 years ago, probably. It was something in college, and it was you, me, I'm trying to think who was on bass for this one, but Montez was drumming, and who's a friend of ours who died a couple years ago now. And it was so interesting because I mean, obviously he's not singing, he's drumming, but it was this very bizarre experience of like listening to that room and being like, oh my God, that's him. Like I knew from the second I heard the recording, I'm like, oh my God, that's Montez. And it was such a strange feeling of like being able to relive a moment that I hadn't even thought about, like that was just not even in my memory, and to experience that was so strong.
Yeah, it takes you right back.
It does. Like I could imagine the room we were in. It was the strangest thing in the world. But I was like, oh, like that. He left that. Like that's. I can go back to this anytime I want to hear Montez, and he's there. It was such It was such a strange thing. But I've never, until you say that, I've never really thought about that. It is interesting as a performer that thanks to being 2025, we have that ability to almost revisit someone in that way.
100%. It was like everyone was kind of like, whoa. And now for the track, I definitely am going to put that. I was already planning to do it, but now more than ever, I'm going to put that little snippet of like
that's really
her and I working out the song and her like
that's beautiful.
That's
so nice.
Her voice is like so sweet, like old, like she's so old, dude, because she was in her 90s when that was made, and it was like, it's like very like
I love it.
So sweet. Oh my God, so sweet. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing and cool that like she, it's cool to honor her in that too. She never had a platform. She came from the Depression era and the Dust Bowl, and very, very poor, and had a lot of mental health issues, and just hadn't she didn't have any opportunities that I have. So that's why I feel like more than ever I have to honor also like my ancestors that came. Like we're all, golly, we got like Topo Chicos and like indoor plumbing and like
amazing. There's
so much. Like we get on our phones and I can look up like a restaurant and be like, or like it's funny. Someone was expressing this. We get so mad when things aren't so instantaneous. It's like, oh, sorry, my signal had to travel all the way to space and back.
Yeah.
Not fast enough,
Oh, life is so hard.
It's hard.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But we do have other challenges that they did not have, so,
It's all relative, you know what I mean? It's all, you can't.
It's all relative. Sips Topo. It's all, I hope you clip in that. Yeah.
Topo Chico.
Topo.
We're coming for you guys. We're coming for you. Have you not noticed how much fun we've been having? Have you not noticed that? Look at this. Mallory Eagle is presenting your wonderful beverage. God damn. No, fuck them. They're going to be so lucky if they get us as a sponsor.
Well, maybe don't say fuck them, because that's not really going to help. Maybe cut that.
We'll cut that out.
Topo Chico, mineral water, carbonated.
Cut it out, Rourke.
Yeah.
Get to it.
Bottled source since 1895. I loved that year.
This is a random question, but I never imagined I would ever ask anyone this.
God.
But this topic has made me ponder this. Is there any way you would care to be remembered at all for what you've made?
Right as the cat comes on and yeah, I'm like, yes.
Gung gung.
Ooh. That's a deep question. Let me sit with that for like 2 seconds.
No worries. We can just... Oh.
I love this. Like, come on.
Hey, kitty.
Honky-tonk cowboy. Yeah. Trying to get the cardinal feather. Oh my God, the lore of that is also crazy.
Just going for it.
The fact that you said that actually kind of was like...
Yeah. Oh yeah, tell us about this guy.
No!
So what's going on in the love life right now, dude?
Zero. It's my love story.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's my own love.
We're going to have to cut that for copyright. No,
yeah, sorry. Be me, myself, and I. How I'd like to be remembered.
If you even want to. I mean, some people don't even care.
I would love to be, like, remembered, but I think I'm already doing that now by living how I'm living and the connections in life I already have, and that I just hope that people can be brought together via me. Like I love being a connector, and I love bringing community, and I think that will be a beautiful time to share stories, and other people will meet at that time. Mm-hmm. Like I would love people to come to my funeral someday and be like, meet each other via stories that they had mutually with me, or just stories that they had to share, and then it sparks a connection or a conversation, because the people that are in my life are very beautiful people, and the people that I share my time with are also just, I view myself as a giant mirror to the other flowers of my life. Like, it's this beautiful garden, and each one of you guys are a beautiful flower, and we're all within this.
Brian, we're beautiful flowers.
You guys are. I'm
yes.
Shine your petals. And every person has their own beautiful thing that they're contributing to. I can't say beautiful enough, because it's just true. It's that, I think that's how I would like to be remembered. Yes, I was here. I did art. I did music, and I've gotten back into painting. By the way, that's been a new.
Love that.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm like watercolor queen.
Okay.
I'll make y'all one and send it. Send a little postcard.
We'll hang it up.
Love it.
That's
Yeah,
what we
we'll
need to
hang it
start
up in
doing
the
is we need
background.
to, we'll hang it up for the pod.
Oh my God, I'll make one. Yeah,
Love
I'll
it.
take a photo and
I
have
love
the
it.
inspiration for it. It's big abstract zones, but I've been
That's my favorite. Let's go.
Yeah,
There we
I've
go.
also done like a whole collection. I actually did get accepted to an art gallery, but I had to back out of it because I don't have the time to balance two worlds right now. But it was cool to be accepted. It was like, okay, a legitimate like
ego
studio.
boost right there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, that feels good. It was a all collection of the moon. I did on my first year of getting sober. I painted each moon cycle outside with it and the colors I saw from it, and it was cool. Like, NASA released it. I'm a huge space nerd. Obviously, we've been talking about that since the beginning. But like, NASA released a photo of like all of the moons that we had from like 2023, and I looked back on it with my paintings of the collection I had with each one, and it was all like very similar colors and cool energy.
What has your journey been with the with alcohol?
With the moon? Oh.
No. Like,
I'm just kidding.
I'm curious. Like, when? So it's almost been 2 years now.
2 years tomorrow.
What was the impetus for that?
Like what
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had been trying to quit for a long time. And I also had been really numbing and running away from a lot of the things I needed to look at and work on. And I also was just like, it was weathering me. It was weathering my soul. And I was looking down another fork in the road. How much more hurt and how much more disaster do I want to continue bringing, and how much more poison do I want to put in my body? And my dad, he's 34 years sober, completely sober. I have a little bit of weed now and then, but I also had to like relearn my relationship with that too. Mm-hmm. But it got to a point where it was like, do I really want to, am I going to serve the music and type of music I want to be doing? Like, I can't keep going down this path. Mm-hmm. And it was many failed attempts of like trying to quit. And the night like 2 years ago, the night before, so today on the 7th, 2 years ago, I had been 2 weeks sober. And I went out and I was with a group of just local musicians in Oklahoma City. And I allowed myself to be pressured into, one more drink, whatever, And I was like, oh man, I've been like good. I've been really like trying to quit. I'm like 2 weeks. They're like, and those people aren't meaning any harm. They're just drinking and having a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I broke my promise to myself. And I think that's really also what it was about. Like, I was continuing to break promises to myself and not caring for myself. And I was like, what's one old fashioned? And then one old fashioned was shots. And then shots were other things. And then, but it just catalyzed this huge, like, dramatic evening. Like, had a huge fight with a friend. And it just immediately put me back into like a very dark portal. In a very dark part of myself, and it also was like soul crushing to break my promise that I had made to myself. And I woke up the next morning, I was like, and I'm done. And my dad had said something to me once that was like, well, you're not going to be done until you're done, so go drink as hard as you can. And I'd like gotten to that point where I was like, okay, I think I've really done it 2 weeks. And then I had that moment. I was like, I just can't do this anymore. And I also just kind of had some insight that if I kept going, a lot of abuse cycles were going to continue for me. And I was really done doing that to myself, continuing that in other relationships, and like seeing how it was just really ruining everything. And so, yeah, I woke up the next day and I called that friend. We worked things out, and I made a promise to myself that I would never go back into that realm ever again. And it's been the first year was the most difficult thing because it was truly like the tower crumbling in my life. All systems had to completely break away. I moved 6 times within the year. I had so many jobs, and I was also finishing this record amongst all of it and dealing with all of this stuff. And it's just been like, now I'm on the other side of it. Someone sent me this post that was like, you know, I love all the like inspirational posts and stuff like that. Like, they're always getting my
You're
ass.
a sucker for a good inspirational post.
And
That's good.
I have affirmations.
That's
I love
hilarious.
There's worse things to be into.
it. Yeah, I'm like training my algorithm to be like pretty princess, like happy, like you know, gardens and like butterflies and like positive affirmation. But like, there was this post that my friend Emily had sent me that was said, "You've been healing. You used to be healing to deal with the trauma. Now you are healing to receive the joy." And now that's in the era I've come on this other side, like come to tears, and it's going to be a lifelong thing for me. It's just been, I've seen truly how my life has been changed. And like, I also have like found a connection back to myself and with God and what I call God and light. And, you know, it's been incredible. Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah. I feel really happy and like,
That's awesome.
I feel very free.
Good.
We're all free, but sometimes we forget.
Yeah, it's a very nice way of putting it. That was much more eloquent and beautiful than my story would have been, so that's lovely.
Well, that's just, you know, I've also realized I'm a very deep feeler, and I've got to have time with Mallory, and I'm to give you the tea about who I'm dating me. I'm courting myself. I enjoy taking myself on dates.
Love
and
it.
for the first time, really like feeling happy in that space and open. I'm open to love. I really am. I'm open, and I would love to have like a great, you know, relationship with someone. But right now, it's very much my story, and it's
Yeah, that's good to be able to get that all on your own, you know.
oh my God, I love it. Like, I walk into the restaurant, I'm like, table for one. They're like, oh, okay. Like, they don't even question it anymore. Like, at first they're like, is someone? I'm like, table for one. And the way I say it, they're like, oh, like,
Excuse me.
like, excuse, yeah, and like, yeah, me and myself. Sorry. I'm like, and it's not out of this like selfish way. It's out of this like true just comfortability of like finally finding who I am and embracing all the quirky, weird, like finding out I'm very neurodivergent and understanding that part of my brain and that I have a very different brain. And my family is like all kind of learning via me, like expressing these things that they're also very neurodivergent, and less like stigma around that and grace. It's like understanding for I am who I am because of these wonderful things, but also I do have struggles that are different than a lot of because you meet a neurotypical person and they're like, we don't literally understand a word you're saying or like anything that you're and I'm like, that's okay, that's fine, you know, like we're all just on our own little journeys, you know. But it's been a beautiful thing, and I'm gonna take myself out tomorrow. Like Eliza was like, what are you doing tomorrow?
Hell yeah.
My parents were so sweet. I called them today just to check in and tell them, you know, I've made it and everything. And my dad was like, well, tomorrow's your birthday. And we'll be calling you tomorrow. It makes me tear up. We'll be calling you tomorrow and wishing you a happy birthday because it's my new life. That is my now new birthday. And not my belly button birthday, but you know, you know, as they say in AA. Yeah, it's my. That's kind of crazy actually. I'm getting emotional thinking about this because, yeah, it's been a long journey, but a very rewarding one as I continue. But he was like, "We'll have a cake ready for you when you get home." So, you know, having community also that supports that is, it's really beautiful.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know everything, and I never will. But I know a couple of things, and the one thing I know is I just know a couple things.
That's good.
Well, on that note, I got to say, I'm so fucking happy that you did this. It makes me so happy that you're here.
It
really does. You were at the very top of our list to get on here, and it's just it makes us so happy that we got to hang out and just do this. So
same. I love both of you, and so great to meet you too, Alexa. I love you as well. I know we. Oh yeah, people have been teaching me that.
What is that?
It's a heart.
Oh.
It's like a mini.
That's a new one. Never knew until
I was doing also. I was doing this, but apparently that's apparently that's millennial, like very old. But like.
Too involved.
They're like doing all these weird ones.
I like this one.
Someone was damn. Yeah,
kids these days.
Yeah, I can't keep up. It's all love. It's all love. Thank you guys for having me.
You, and we're so happy.
Yes, and you'll have to come back and do it again.
No, I will.
There we go.
Yeah.
It made me so happy.
Oh, guys, same. That was really beautiful.